Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Victor Sawyer, and you're listening to the jazz scene at GPAC. GPAC standing for the Germantown Performing Arts Center right here in Germantown, Tennessee. And we're excited to be talking about Lakecia Benjamin, who's going to be at GPAC on Saturday, October 3rd at the Highland Capitol performing stage, where you can see her live doing her full catalog. Who knows what it's going to be? I think the exciting thing about Lakecia Benjamin is she has traversed so many different styles. So I'm just excited to see what she brings to the stage. A little bit about the Germantown Performing Arts Center. It is the preeminent space for jazz in Germantown, Tennessee, and in the Mid-South region, bringing artists such as Terrence Blanchard, Count Basie, Wycliffe Gordon, Samara Joy, and of course, Lakecia Benjamin. A little bit later, I'm going to introduce my co-host for today, the astounding mistress of mayhem, Miss Hope Clayburn, one of my longtime collaborators. If you're at home, this would be the moment where you're clapping and you're like, oh my gosh, freaking out. This is the moment to do that. This is actually the first of a few episodes for a podcast we're going to do. And just to let you know, we're just going to be talking music. We're going to be listening to music, talking about the artists. And we're so incredibly grateful to know that we have some interview questions that we're going to review. Lakecia Benjamin, the artist, has gratefully sent us some of her reflections on her own career. Once again, my name is Victor Sawyer. I am a Memphis native. For other Memphians, I'm from Hickory Hill, to be specific, a graduate of Ridgeway High School. If you didn't know, if you're out there, if you're not in Memphis, where you went to high school is actually a more important question than where you went to college. I went to Ridgeway, best of the preps, 2002 to 2004. Never forget, Roadrunners for life. After graduating, I went to the University of Memphis, majored in trombone, and followed that up by majoring in jazz performance at the Manhattan School of Music, studying with Luis Bonilla, John Riley, David Liebman, Phil Markowitz, amongst many others. And since moving back from New York City, I have started a really illustrious freelance career here in Memphis, Tennessee, playing with artists such as Wendy Moten, 8-Ball MJG, Valerie June, Hope Clayburn. Of course, this is your second opportunity to cheer. There will be others. Don't forget it. And I've also been privileged enough to teach at Stax Music Academy, Crosstown High School, and most recently Rhodes College, teaching the jazz combos there. I want to take a moment now, if you're at home, brace yourself, maybe get a little limber. I want to introduce our special guest for today, Miss Hope Clayburn.
Victor, you silly man. What's going on, y'all? That's my dude right there. How's it going, everybody? Good to hear from you and see you and all that good stuff, man. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited to have you. So, listening to Lakecia Benjamin, it was almost like I've heard this sound for the last, 10 plus years. Yeah. We've been playing together. It's funny. I remembered you before you remember me. I had a friend who, her dad, Dennis, he's passed on, but he used to see you at Ernstine and Hazel's.
That's right.
And when I moved back, I was hanging out with her and she was like, oh, you got to go meet this Hope person. And I'll never forget this. They always, what's the phrase? You got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I go to the Cove, having a good time. And at the end of it, I finally work up the courage. I walked up to you and I was like, hey, I just moved back. I play trombone. And you were like, do you have it? And I was like, no. And you just gave me a date and said, come back at the end of the month. And we've been playing together now since probably 2012?
Yeah, I think so. It's flying by. So I always say that you have to tell me because it just seems like a blur. But that's a good blur, because it means the energy is good. Time just moves on. And I'm just glad to spend this time with you, homie.
Yeah, really glad.
Yeah.
And, hearing Lakecia Benjamin, when we started planning this episode, the conversation was like, we should get a guest artist. Who do we get? Probably somebody who plays saxophone. But it's just such a 1-for-1 match, you know, and listening to Lakecia's discography, I could just hear so much of you in her playing and vice versa. And it just showed me, wow, influences matter. And listening to her stuff, there's some songs I picked that I was like, I think this sounds like something you would have wrote.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get into the music. And so I think without further ado, let's listen to some tunes.
Oh, that sounds excellent.
Yeah, let's kick off a jam. Immediately.
Stanky.
Yeah, so that was a tune off of one of Lakecia Benjamin's early recordings called Maceo off the album Retox. And as we listen to more of her discography, I think what we're going to see is, wow, we're really witnessing an artist evolve across time. And that's really an opportunity that you don't get to see, where the recorded music just shows the musical evolution, shows the range the entire time. Yeah. What'd you think about that recording?
Oh, you already know. That speaks my language, music is a language. That was my language, what I'm saying? Because that's what I grew up on. I'm from North Carolina. I'm from actually an hour away from where Maceo Parker was born. So
really?
Yeah, hopefully it's in the water. So we funky from North Carolina. So yeah. It was Eric Brown on drums.
Eric Brown on drums, yeah. And so, growing up in that region, what is it about that region that really produces that music, that vibe? I mean, what is it?
I think, well, first of all, there's not much to do. I think that's the first question. Yeah. Hey, so you're just going to be at the house practicing.
There you go.
But it also combines, of course, with gospel and jazz because, of course, there's a big gospel scene, church scene there. So you get that, the drumming especially reminds me of some gospel drumming. And, you combine that with the soul music that you heard from your parents and all that. So I kind of feel that all comes together with a little tinge of country, a little something. Yeah. It's all just together.
Yeah, and then Eric Brown's playing this crazy beat on the drums, which is, that James Brown beat, that Clyde Stubblefield
Bernard
beat.
Purdy.
Yeah, the Purdy thing that just has become, it led to breakdance music. It led to so much. It's not an easy beat. It's a groovy beat. But, playing in your band in particular, it's always really interesting to play the same catalog of music with different people because everyone has strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly.
And, some people, they kill your rock tunes. They destroy them. And then you ask them to play hip hop. It's like they've never heard a rap song in their life. And so some really impressive drumming. And then you don't bring the effects around as much anymore because it's just too much stuff.
It's just too much stuff.
It's just too much stuff.
Yeah, if I have time to focus and kind of have, time to set it up and whatnot. I do miss playing with it, but sometimes, the older I get, just like they say, the simpler, the better sometimes. But there'll definitely be moments where I want to bring that back. But I love hearing it. I've been listening to a lot of Brecker Brothers and, Randy Brecker, the trumpet player, he's killer with that. And then, what's his name? Eddie Harris.
Okay.
Freedom Jazz Dance, all that kind of effect stuff. I miss that. So stay tuned. Maybe I will bring that back.
Okay,
You got me inspired. I'm going to dust off the pedals.
Yeah, maybe bring back. What's really funny to me, too, is listening to those lines. I remember joining your band and being like, these lines aren't for trombone.
Oh, yeah.
These lines are not for trombone.
I apologize.
No, it pushed me to another level.
It did, man. You kill it. Yeah.
So it was really cool, but I think it goes back to, we have these interview questions thinking about the way that Lakecia talks about music.
Yeah.
You just live music. You just live music, you do music, and you kind of try not to let the technical thing overtake the spiritual, the community, the music thing.
Amen.
And if it's funky, you figure it out.
Exactly.
If it's funky, you figure it out and you make it happen. So going to these questions, once again, for those of you at home, we were able, thank you so much to Lakecia Benjamin and her team. We were able to send some questions out, some reflective questions, and she sent back some really thoughtful answers. And one of the ones that our conversation is bringing to mind is number 2. How have you incorporated your various musical influences into your playing and composing? And her response, I don't think you have to try to incorporate them. if you are studying the tradition of the music every day and also genuinely listening to the music you like, you can't help but play what you were studying and what you like. The real trick is kind of how do you then put that to the side and then play music in a way that's authentically true to your voice. Always believe you have to work hard to try to play someone else's sound, but to be yourself is the most natural gift you are born with.
Preach.
Preach. Yeah.
Preach.
You know, I think as a trombone player in the musical world and just as a person, I know for me, that's like it was a struggle. It's not as much of a struggle now. It's like the gift of getting older. Yeah. You just kind of care less a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And then also, I think for me personally, just trying to be someone else who I think you should be. Yeah. It's not sustainable.
It's not.
You know, but you've always been a person who knows yourself. You play like yourself. There's no question. You have a sonic stamp where you know, oh, that's Hope on the track.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. What for you, you know, have you ever had challenges in staying true to your voice, or have you always just had sort of an intuitive sense of this is me, this is what I do, you like it, you don't, whatever?
It goes back and forth. There are some moments, of course, where I'm going to be like, I know I need to do what I've been hired to do, right? Yeah. So I'm not going to be, because just like you were freelance. So we don't want to be always obtuse and be like, oh, this is me. If you don't accept that. But underneath that, you still want to make sure, like she says, be true to yourself. And I've just been lucky my whole life. I've always had this kind of spirit about me that says I was put here for a reason, I guess, so why would I try to be somebody else? Why would I try to emulate? It's okay to pay tribute and honor to a tradition, but like when it comes down to it, music and life. In life, you can't live somebody else's life. In music, you can't play somebody else's music and be happy. So happiness, I think, is the ultimate kind of goal of anything that you do in life. Yeah. Whether your job, your family, whatever, fulfillment and happiness. So I've just been lucky that that's kind of been in my mind since I was young. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I think I can feel that.
Yeah.
The authenticity comes through in your playing. I think other people can hear it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's kind of one of the beautiful things about jazz music in particular is once you kind of surrender to the jazz and just let a person be themselves, I think that's when you can really enjoy it. That was one thing, being like a conservatory trained musician, the biggest culture shock for me was, hey, you don't get a lot of prep all the time.
Nope.
When you're in college, even the top college, you get a whole semester you're working towards these various concerts. But in the real world, it's nice sometimes if you have a couple of paid rehearsals. But generally, but oftentimes, no, you're just showing up and somebody's like, here are the tracks, here's the music, maybe. And you got to entertain a crowd of people. They've paid money to see you.
Yes.
And so just learning how to do that, or at the very least, I think what's more important as I'm speaking is learning not how to get in my head about what happens.
That's the biggest thing. Because what I always tell people, on stage, we know what's happening. Out there, they don't, right? Unless you let them know. Unless you start getting that look, that stank face, like, what's that? Your job as a professional is to just deliver a final product. No matter how you get it done, you get it done. And maybe the next time it will be better. But you learn from whatever happened that day or whatever's happened on stage. You just learn from it and then you move on and you bounce back. Yeah. That's all you got to do. Keep moving.
Keep moving.
Keep moving. Just keep swimming.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and check out that second song that we picked for today. I knew you would like this one.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard this one, I said, she gonna dig this one.
Got that Prince vibe on it.
Exactly.
We'll get there.
In my world, you move my peace around within.
There's that dome again.
Yep.
Always the dome. Drummers, if you're out there, when in doubt, just hit the dome.
Hit the dome.
People would probably like it.
How fun love can be. Hold on tight and join with me. In my world, you move my peace around within. As I stay true to the living light in me will see how fun.
So taking a look at one of her answers to number 6, how do you get in the zone? Preparation. She says, how do you get in the zone? Preparation creates freedom. I practice. To all my students out there, you heard it from a master professional. You practice. Study and do the work long before I get on stage. Then when it's time to perform, I try to let go, as you just said, and trust the moment. The zone happens when preparation and surrender meet.
Woo!
That's a bar.
That's a bar.
Not to put down modern times, because I think there's a lot of great music coming out today, but I think there's so much frictionless things happening today. You know, you can listen to whatever song you want. If you want a transcription, there's a PDF package you can go find. There's so many tools to allow you to circumvent the work, like the actual work.
Yes.
But what I have found is when you really dig in on the work, when you prepare and study the music really hard, that's really the only way to get to the zone.
Yeah.
You know, the more I have to think about the music, the less in the zone I'm going to be.
Yes.
It's hard. What do you got on it?
Oh, I mean, that's 100% right. Because I actually just woke up this morning to write out a chart for something. Not for myself, but for other folks. Because I know the music, but I know for them, that's kind of not fair. But I was like, man, it would be nice if we did know this music, because then we can maybe do something like Move and stuff like that. But I don't mind. But I do feel those gigs where it's just like, I made sure I was at the house shedding, as they say, shedding.
Yeah.
That's the term for anybody out there who doesn't know. That's what jazz musicians call when you're at the house, playing over and over again, the same riff, listening, you're in the shed. So if you get in the shed, once you get out of the house, you can breathe the free air. You know what I'm saying? You can breathe the free air when you get on stage and don't have to think about it. So her statement is so perfect. Lakecia, that's a great statement. Definitely want to pass that along to your students. I know you will, because and I'm going to pass along with the other musicians I play with too, because you try to express that to people. It's not saying that I'm disappointed if you don't know the tune and stuff. I'm more disappointed because you won't have as much fun.
Yeah, it's going to be impossible. If you gotta stress out.
Yeah, don't stress. Yeah,
for like 8 measures, because you're like, I gotta catch that 1, 2, 4 bar, because it's the most stressful thing ever. You're not going to be able to be in the moment. Going back to the shed, for the listeners at home, wherever you may be, right now, a lot of people live alone. You have your apartment, you have your studio, things like that. But really, for a majority of American history and just global history, people lived in multi-generational households. And I don't know if you know anybody that plays a saxophone or a trombone.
Drums.
Yeah, but they're loud. They're really, really loud. And so when you hear a musician say, I got to hit the shed, what they really mean is back in the day, the family would tell John Coltrane and Miles Davis, they'd be like, you can't practice that inside the house. You got to go outside into the shed. And so there's all these stories of like John Coltrane just coming out of this woodshed after 10, 12, 13 hours, just drenched in sweat. Because he's just been in this hot shed, because he's a North Carolina person.
Hamlet.
John Coltrane's a North Carolina person. Yeah, the coast. J. Cole, also Wilmington, North Carolina.
Thelonious Monk, Rocky Mount.
North Carolina. Don't sleep on North Carolina.
Don't be sleeping on us.
If you're listening from North Carolina, I am from Memphis. Our barbecue is better. We don't need to. It's not it shouldn't be a controversial statement. I mean,
it's just like music. Everybody has different tastes. Okay, Victor.
And some people's tastes are bad. I gotta represent Memphis.
That's awesome.
No, Carolina barbecue is just fine.
Okay. All right, we'll leave that for another time. We'll start another podcast.
But yeah, Miles Davis also famously, out in the shed. He comes from a wealthy family in St. Louis, practicing all the time. And so, the privilege to be able to practice these instruments, but you got to spend time in the shed. That's what you have to do, because it unlocks something. You play the same line over and over, and one day it just clicks. It just clicks, and then you can use it. I think for me, I want to see if you can relate to this. She's talking about getting in the zone. I know something I've been shedding is working, where out of nowhere it comes out during like an improvised solo.
Oh yeah.
You've been shedding what have I been shedding lately? So lately I've just been working on different kinds of progressions, and I'm trying to get this pentatonic shifting. So for the listeners at home, a pentatonic scale is any 5-note scale. So there's two kind of big ones, the major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic. But it's really any 5-note scale, but I've been shedding this thing trying to go down. So let's say we're in the key of D flat major, right? We're going to resolve to that. And so common jazz progression, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, right? To go start on the third and go down a pentatonic, half steps for a while, pentatonic shift, you go. So when you hit that last one, you end up back in your tonic or whatever. And the other day, it almost came out. I've been practicing it for like a month, and it almost came out in a live performance. And I kind of flipped out. And I think the flipping out is what jacked me up.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, I did it. And I was like, I messed it up. Dang it. Crap. I guess this is what John Morant feels like when he goes for like an alley-oop. Probably early John Morant.
Yeah.
This is what was happening. He was like, I'm almost there.
Yeah.
He's figured it out.
He's figured it out.
Obviously.
And that's what you're saying. It's when it comes out in the solo, you can't think about it. You can't just be like, I'm going to go for this, or on this solo, I'm going to quote this line. It just has to be there. You know, it just has to be there. So I love it. You trying to overthink anything in music, it ends up, like you're saying, you lose the vibe of it. So once you just say, I'm just going to go with the flow. Like I played last night at this place, Lewis Conley's, for a jam they do at Wednesdays. Yeah. One of my friends is back in town. He lives in New York City now, David Collins, excellent composer, guitarist, who's from here but has moved to New York City recently. But we did a jam on some of his songs. And same thing, I started playing. I was like, it sounds so good. Ain't nobody fresh like me. So I did it for a couple minutes. I was like, I shouldn't did that. But it worked for a second. But then I was like, let me just go back to my brain. Let me just not think so much. And it turned out really well. So appreciate you, David, and all the boys down there.
And so, talking about the flow state, I think for me, listening to jazz, the first time I heard John Coltrane was my older cousin played alto saxophone, actually. And at the Ridgeway High School band, best of the preps. And his band director was like, oh, you got to listen to John Coltrane. Because that's what we do, right? Yeah. Teachers, we think we're going to give you this album that's going to change your life. Yeah. And it's just like, dude, he's 15.
Exactly. You're not ready.
It might. Some kids are, some kids aren't. But I remember sitting in the car. His aunt, my aunt, his mom had bought him giant steps.
Oh, Lord.
And I'm in the back seat, and all of a sudden, if you don't know, Giant Steps is still to this day one of the hardest jazz songs to play. But it's not, but it is. But the thing that makes it hard is the tempo. But because of John Coltrane, you got these chord changes where it's... And it just moves around so quickly. But John Coltrane getting into the flow state, able to just shred through these changes, sticking to the basics, playing 1, 2, 3, 5 on a lot of it. Right, doing that. But when you do it at tempo 300 plus, and you do it with that tone that he has, that Lakecia has, it makes simple melodies sound so much more impactful. And Lakecia Benjamin actually honored John Coltrane a number of times, not only through John Coltrane being an obvious influence on her playing, but also in her recorded discography. In fact, she put out the song album Pursuance, which we'll get to a little bit later, but also wrote a song in honor of John Coltrane called Train, and it's on the album Phoenix. We're going to take a listen to that real quick.
Yes, I love this song.
classic late John Coltrane sound, big, open, spiritual,
Yeah.
and simple lines.
Yeah, man.
It's something about this groove.
Yeah. Let's do the classic train thing, the big open intro
Yeah.
into the. I love it.
Using that pentatonic scale.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
She nominated for a Grammy for this, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deserved it.
Yeah, so that's Train off of Phoenix. Let's go back to the questions. What I love, if you're listening at home, following along with us, that song probably sounds radically different than what we just listened to.
Yeah.
But question number one, what does music mean to you? Has it changed across time? I guess for me, music is my purpose, my path, and the reason I'm on the planet. I think artists have a unique journey, and music can be a vehicle for healing, community, and transformation, kind of like a bridge that can bring people together across cultures, generations, and experience.
Yes.
And that one song really typifies that. This is a person who grew up in the Washington Heights area in New York City, this Dominican area with all of this Afro-Cuban tradition. Goes to the new school in New York City, but goes to Fiorello High School of the Performing Arts first.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. Okay,
Yeah, so she actually went there, then went to the new school. She meets Gary Bartz, the famous saxophone player.
One of my favorites. Yeah.
And Gary's the person that's like, oh, you should listen to this, you should listen to this, you should listen to this. Of course, she already had all these influences and was listening on her own. But, I think relying on an algorithm to show you what's next, hey, it's going to give you some new music, but there's nothing like a person that cares about you that being like, you specifically need to hear this.
Yeah.
And, you just think what had happened had she never heard Train.
Right.
What would have happened there? And then also using that pentatonic scale, that pentatonic scale is found in pretty much every culture.
Every culture, Indian, everything.
Every culture.
Every culture has it.
It's an ancient sound.
Ancient.
What did we just do?
Arabic, yeah.
Yeah, we just did this thing in Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, yeah, the Savannah Arts Fest with the Music Explorers program.
Yeah, we did the Music Explorers program where we brought together New Orleans music, South Indian classical music, and Southern hip hop music, Atlanta hip hop music in particular, Georgia hip hop music in particular. And there's all these commonalities, but that scale, that pentatonic scale, is just so powerful, so ancient, and she plays like a preacher.
Yeah.
And going back to transformation, though, if you didn't know, she had a pretty bad car wreck in 2021. Lakecia Benjamin has a really bad car accident, broken jaw, which as a musician, that's like the main thing. As a horn player, that's the main thing. You got to have all this going on.
Yes.
And she decided to put out Phoenix Reimagined, this live album. And so we just listened to Train off of Phoenix. Let's go ahead and take a listen to Train, but this is after the accident. So, just to once again, to really set the stage for this is the kind of accident where two paths could have been taken.
Yeah.
Either you're going to just be done with the music, you've had this traumatic injury, it's going to be impossible to play. I'm sure doctors probably doing their job were like, hey, you might not be able to play saxophone anymore. Or you have this other path where you just say, let's just see.
She saw, baby.
She put in that work.
She put it in.
And probably took some time, which, you know, we're similar in that regard. It's very hard to sit still, but she put in that time, and then she came back and played a lot of the music live just to see what it would be like, to show the world what it would be like. So let's go and take a listen to Train, this time after the accidents, off of Phoenix Reimagined. Instantly faster.
Well, live music is always faster.
Yeah.
You always know that.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Heard it. Da, 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 da.
Woo!
Smoking.
She sounds like a woman on fire.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so maybe talk to the crowd. How easy or hard is it to maintain such a ferocious tone while also doing all those acrobatics?
I think, like she said before, preparation is the key to freedom. So you're at the house making sure you at least get in your basic exercise in, and also taking care of your health. Not only your musical health, your physical and spiritual health. So by the time you get on stage, it's just all comes together. So for her to come back and from an accent like that and to play at that level, she truly is, not to be too cliche, but she truly is a Phoenix Rising. It's inspiring. It puts into perspective. We all go through things, like, especially with lack of motivation. But once you get on that stage and she delivered that the way she did, it's more of like just opening your heart and speaking what's going on with you. I'm pretty sure she was explaining without talking, without words. She was telling you, everybody in the crowd, this is, how I bounced back. This is kind of combining all my experiences and all I went through with the accident. So you just dig deep.
Yeah.
You dig deep and find that motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course, on the technical side, it is more about sitting at home with a metronome.
Yeah.
A metronome is a big key. If folks don't know what a metronome is, it's the thing that goes tick, 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 tick. You have
The
the
most
old school.
annoying thing you've ever. Yeah.
I set one up on my iPad and I just practice along with scales, and you increase the speed. And in fact, Lakecia has she did a version of Giant Steps at, like, I forgot what speed. It was like at 300 BPM. It was something
Wow.
stupid. She has so if you look that up, she's like, I'm like, ooh, who's this girl? So you sit at that house with that metronome, you get to the gig, and you forget about it.
Yeah.
Forget about it, as they say.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Dear Italy, we're sorry.
Yeah.
We're sorry for that.
Sorry, we apologize. Yeah, it's okay.
Miss Guzzi.
Sorry,
No,
sorry, we're sorry.
Going back to, not only are we changing what's happening in the present, affect literally vibrating the air with our instruments.
That's true. Yeah.
But it's also, there's, as a Black American, there's a responsibility. I feel like, jazz music, there's, if you didn't know, in the jazz world right now, there's kind of a discussion around, should we even call it jazz? But it is Black American music. This is a music born very soon after the freeing of so many enslaved African Americans. This was a music that people used to express pain when there was no words, to express joy when there was no words. And when you think about this pentatonic scale, you know, John Coltrane, Lakecia Benjamin, anyone just digging deeper and deeper to beyond just Black America, but cultures around the world for thousands of years have played that.
Yes.
You know, there's some dude in Samaria who probably poked a few holes in a flute and was just like, and everybody was like, oh my God. Right. Some little girl ran up to him and was just like, you just changed my life, man. And going back to paying homage to the thing, we're going to listen to a track. So this was a deep cut. It felt like a deep cut.
Okay, then.
You know, we've heard Lakecia do, you know, these Maceo Parker, James Brown style beats, this Prince inspired beat. We've also heard John Coltrane in more of his small combo playing, but now we're going to listen to a track that really shocked me. Going back to digging deep, I think this was like my second listen through her discography, and I was just like, you got to keep listening to this music, like keep doing it. And it's been a treat, but and once again, the more you listen, the more you unlock. But this is one, well, I'll save the trivia for afterwards.
Okay, then
but this is a song called Going Home off of an album that is exclusively dedicated to John Coltrane called Pursuance.
Oh, yeah.
If you didn't know, Pursuance is one of the movements from his Love Supreme suite of music, which was a spiritually inspired collection of music. So this is Going Home off of Lakecia Benjamin's Pursuance.
Counterpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the harp. That's Brandy
Is that
Younger.
Brandy?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Brandy Younger on harp.
Brandy.
I saw her live.
Jealous.
It was crazy. Cool. Yeah, so that was Going Home, a little more of a meditative piece of music. So John Coltrane, of course, married to the famous Alice Coltrane, probably one of the most famous jazz harpists ever. And along with Marcus Strickland and Brandy Younger, Lakecia Benjamin recreated that song. You ready for the trivia? Maybe you know the trivia. Do you know where that tune? So when the woodwind quintet comes in, da, 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 that, do you know where that's from?
Is that Adagio? What is that?
It was, so this is one of those paying homage, and the rabbit hole is always a little bit deeper than you think. So Lakecia Benjamin, alive today, coming to GPAC on October 2nd. Come out and see the show. And when I said October 2nd, I meant October 3rd. Yeah. This is the value of overthinking, right? You think it's usually a detriment, but sometimes you'll catch yourself real quick. And so she's paying homage to Alice Coltrane. That song, Going Home, is off of Alice Coltrane's Lord of Lords album.
Oh, wow.
That particular song, Going Home, so that's the second layer, was a Negro spiritual in the Delta region. That's the third layer. But actually, that melody that became a Negro spiritual was from Antonin Dvorak's New World Symphony, which is this European's impression of early America.
Oh, wow. Because I was like, that sounds almost like it was classical in origin.
Yeah.
That's deep, dude.
Crazy layers. Yeah, just layer after layer of layer. But I think, going back to Lakecia, going through her questions, her responses, the word that keeps popping up is community, 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 community. And I think that when I think about the word community, we're connected.
And getting back to what jazz is, of course, jazz is basically, besides the blues, is one of the only truly American product culturally.
Yeah.
that we can say really kind of is ours. And not just saying Black culture, I'm talking about as a nation. Okay. When we go, Victor and I have been blessed enough to be around the world, but when we go around the world and say we're from Memphis, and especially when we play jazz, there is an expectation, but there's also an excitement and just like, wow, you must be really good at something to come all the way over here and play that. So, yeah. So I don't know. It's humbling, but it's also encouraging. So that's what I like to say.
And being from Memphis, jazz music, of course, blues music is a major part of jazz. As we're hearing through these records, John Coltrane, if you didn't know, his father was in fact a preacher.
Oh, yeah.
And so, hearing that spiritual aspect, we know that Memphis is gospel mecca in the United States right now. Shout out to all the amazing drummers and musicians playing at all these churches every single Sunday and Saturday and Wednesday.
And you gotta have your
Thursday.
Wednesday rehearsal.
And don't you make no plans after Sunday because it's gonna go long.
Yeah.
And we know that. But yeah, this is just truly a global, deeply connected music, and it knows no bounds. I love that Wynton Marsalis, somebody asked him in an interview, they said, what's one of the coolest things about jazz? And he said that you can go to any place in the world, and as long as you all have studied the tradition, a few tunes, you can make music with somebody. You've never met them. You come from a different political background, socioeconomic background, and you can still communicate via this powerful music.
Don't speak the same language.
Don't even speak the same language.
Yeah.
That was born right here in this southern region, New Orleans up to Memphis to St. Louis, to Chicago, to New York City, jazz mecca there, out to LA, Kansas City. Shout out to Kansas City. We can't leave them out. Shout out to North Carolina. I got you. Just every city, every place has got a thing. What is it? Jocko is from, I think, spent a lot of time in Miami.
Yeah, Miami. And is he not from Oakland? No, you're right. He's from Miami. But
yeah,
there's a good scene in Oakland too. Yoshi's, the bar.
Jazz they closed
bar.
now.
I heard. Yeah. And that's another thing too. We're losing venues, but that's why I'm so excited for GPAC and Crosstown, all these folks, bringing folks here. Like I saw Herbie Hancock, a few months ago, and Marcus Miller here a few months ago. I mean, just sitting here right down the street, 20 minutes from the house to come see that. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I saw Wycliffe Gordon at GPAC with my family,
That's
and
great.
he's playing music with an international band.
Nice.
And that was at GPAC, and even I remember growing up, GPAC has definitely brought Conrad Herwig, the famous trombone player, came to GPAC and it was insane. As a trombone player, Conrad Herwig is nuts. I know we're talking about Lakecia, but I'm a trombone player. That dude's nuts.
So that's it.
And for our last track, we're actually going to listen to a song, Beyond Dawn, off of Lakecia Benjamin's newest album, We Dream. And not only does it have Lakecia Benjamin, who's going to be here on October 3rd, it also features Terrence Blanchard, who's going to be at GPAC later in the season. So let's go ahead and take a listen to Beyond Dawn off of We Dream.
Favorite lyric. Yeah. We love that.
Lakecia.
There it is. All right, man. She was there.
Whoa, going through those tracks is so cool to hear the evolution of an artist.
Yes.
The earliest song we listened to today was from 2012. That would have been from 2026. That album just came out.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
So we're talking about 14 years of practicing, 14 years of learning, 14 years of living.
Hey, man, that's what I was going to say right there. It's the living, too, especially with what you went through.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing, dude.
And, also just thinking about all these musicians, we've now heard Terrence Blanchard, Marcus Strickland, Brandy Younger. We're paying homage to Alice Coltrane. I mean, this person has also, and if you didn't know, I mean, she played with Missy Elliott.
Everybody.
Who else? I mean, the list goes on and on.
Well, she did Herbie, Stevie.
Right? Yeah.
I like that track off of Phoenix where she has Diana Reeves on there. Oh, Sonia Sanchez, one of my favorite poets.
Yeah.
Besides Nikki Giovanni, did a great piece with her.
There's some Dee Dee Bridgewater stuff.
She got Bilal on there.
Yeah, Bilal's on Georgia Ann Muldrow.
Good God.
And that's a testament to a human.
Yes.
Now that going back to aging, when you've lived a life and you see that somebody has collaborated with that many different kinds of people, it's like, well, this is clearly a good person.
Yes.
This is clearly a hardworking, easy to work with good person, because that many heavy hitters would not be, jumping in to be a part of these adventurous things.
And it doesn't seem like it's, sometimes, especially with like hip hop and stuff, it's almost like more of like a clout thing. It almost feels like it's more of a, like getting back to that word community and authenticity with her. It feels like those artists seem to be truly doing it because they like what she's doing.
Yeah.
At least I don't know personally, but that's when they work together, that's what it feel like. And of course it does help with getting her name out there. I don't mind that though, because I would love for more. She did Tiny Desk too, right? So it's just like, I mean, come on. She's got some She's living my dream life right now.
She's living your dream life, yeah. She's got
But
some
I'm
stuff
so
with,
happy for her.
Who is it? Chris Potter?
Yeah, Chris Potter on there.
I've been doing Duolingo Japanese. How you say it? Hiromi.
Hiromi.
Yeah,
Hiromi.
they don't have a hard R. Yeah.
Hi, Hiromi.
Yeah, doing stuff with them. I mean, it's just incredible to hear it. So yeah, just once again, Lakecia Benjamin, October 3rd at the Highland Capitol Performance Hall at the Germantown Performing Arts Center. We just like to call it GPAC around here in Germantown, Tennessee, serving jazz throughout the Mid-South region for decades and many decades to come. We're going to knock on some wood. We got any wood around? There it is.
Right.
Knocking on some. You got it. Okay. If I only had a brain. And some other thank yous we want to give to. We definitely want to thank Hope Clayburn. One more time, Hope in your face, the mistress of mayhem herself. We got the Germantown Performing Arts Center. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to celebrate and uplift such an amazing artist. Thank you to Lakecia Benjamin for taking time out of your busy, illustrious, amazing touring schedule and answering the questions that we sent to you. Thank you so much to Master Video Production for having us and hosting us as we film this podcast. Thank you to the Mid-South Development District for helping us make this possible so we can share jazz not only with more people in our Mid-South community, but with the world. And to our audience, without you, none of this is possible. We hope that you are just as enamored about the music that comes to GPAC as we are. But now, before we go, what you digging on? What you shedding on? Where you playing?
Wow, man. It's just so much I got going on, because I played in about 6 bands. So, but when I'm not practicing and shedding, I've been getting back into some Guru, Jazzmatazz, revisiting all of his.
Those sound like made up words. What?
Yeah, but Guru is Guru is a jazz artist. He's a hip hop artist. He's passed away about 10 years ago. But he combined hip hop and jazz, and he actually features people like Gary Bartz and whatnot on his record. So I highly recommend Jazzmatazz. jazz, and he released about 4 of them.
Okay.
So, but his rapping style is so beautiful. He sounds like a saxophone when he raps. So getting in that for hip hop, I'm playing with this guy named Luca every now and then. So Lukah. He's from Memphis.
Yeah.
He kind of has that new hip hop jazz kind of vibe going on too. But I'm always into Afrobeat music. So Kokoro, is that how do you pronounce the
Kokoro?
Kokoro. There's the girls that play horn and stuff.
Yeah.
Always going to be revisiting some Fela Kuti. Miguel Zanon for his sax.
I love Miguel
You turn
Zanon.
me on to
Yeah.
him. He's amazing on alto. MacArthur Grant winner, right? He
We
won
got to
the
get him.
Genius.
We got to get him in Germantown.
Yeah, man. He came to U of M to do a little master class.
right.
I was so bummed I missed it. But let's see. And then, surprisingly, I'm getting back into, I went through an outlaw country phase where I'm getting back into like Merle Haggard. Yeah. And a newer artist that folks know, Charlie Crockett, whose partner is, I guess, she's
Taylor.
from Memphis.
Taylor's from
So
Memphis,
I
yeah.
love some Charlie Crockett. But there's another country artist who's actually a soul singer, Esther Phillips. She's no longer with us, but one of the greatest country records of all time is by a Black woman. Esther Phillips.
Okay.
So look it up. Her voice is amazing. Kind of has that Patsy Cline, Tammy Wynette kind of vibe going on. And then, of course, always funk. So I'm always funk, Maceo. And I'm trying to get more into some newer artists. This guy who's like a DJ who combines Afrobeat and all sorts of stuff, Captain Planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like his stuff. So it goes on and on. But and of course, I play in the Elton John tribute band, Almost Elton John, and Elton John put out a new. Oh, go ahead, do it.
What?
Man, we got to cover that. So it's always so funny. My biggest, at the end of the year, to give you like your number one listen to artist is almost always Elton because I have to learn a lot of his music.
Right.
But his latest record, Who Believes in Angels with Brandy Carlisle, is amazing.
Okay.
It's a great record, the newest Elton John record. But that's who I'm listening to. When I'm up to, I'm about in a couple of minutes about to go to the Peabody Hotel here in Memphis and play their rooftop party with a band of a bunch of doctors and nurses called Memphis Soul Remedy.
Yeah.
And then we'll be there next week with DJ AD
And the Vibe Tribe.
which is cool. It's a DJ AD. She's a great DJ, but she came up with a great idea of combining a horn section and a drum. And so she has me, Victor, Juwan on, horns and Ryan Pill on drums and high energy, good times.
All energy.
All energy.
Yeah.
And, and I play every Thursdays mostly at BB King's Club on Beale Street with Ashton Riker and Rod Bland, who's Bobby Blue Bland's son.
Yeah.
And just going to be out of town playing some gigs here in Virginia, Maryland, and whatnot. I'm trying to get overseas, hopefully in the next year or so. I want to go back to Brazil to play with my friends over there.
Okay.
COVID cut that off. We were working
course.
on, but now I want to get back over there. So
Yeah.
busy.
You're busy.
I'm busy, and I'm blessed to be. I want to be like Lakecia, where it's just like, as you know, but I came from a nursing backfield where I was a nurse for many years. And after the pandemic, I guess you can call it midlife crisis, but I felt like music kind of was just like, this is my chance.
Yeah.
I put out my vinyl record with you guys. Y'all So Loud, put out vinyl. And I was like, I'm just going to go for it. Mm-hmm. And then having Lakecia as an example, it's really been motivating. I can't wait to get out there. Can't wait to see her and all that good stuff. So I'm so excited.
Yeah, well, let's once again at home snap it up, clap it up, hoot, holler for Hope Clayburn. Check out her album "Y'all So Loud," which we cut at what was the
Ardent.
We cut at Arden Studios, the historical studio in Memphis, Tennessee. An amazing studio, sounds great. So that's where that was cut. And you can check out Hope Clayburn and myself next Thursday at the Peabody Rooftop. It's going to be hot. Wear some sunscreen. Drink plenty of water. What's the rule for every one drink you have? One glass of water.
Yeah.
But in 2026, for every one drink you have, probably 2 glasses of water.
Especially on the sun.
And some Pedialyte.
Yeah, I agree.
And a hat.
And loose clothing.
Just go see the Dune movie and dress like that, and you'll be prepared to come see us play at the Peabody Rooftop.
You fool.
Well, look, once again, my name's Victor Sawyer. After listening to all that music, got some practicing I need to go do. So once again, this is the Jazz Scene at GPAC signing off. We will see you soon. We haven't came up with a theme song, but how about... see you next time.